All right, let's get right to it.
Hi Jeremy, this is Danielle Richardson, Guidance Counselor at Chewan Middle School. I have with me 2 students and they have a question for you.
Hi Jeremy, I'm Mary Grace.
Hi, I'm Adriana.
And our question is, what motivates you to keep speaking to students across our nation?
Okay, so what motivates me to speak to students across the nation is because I believe that what I'm doing is life-changing. You know, to be honest with you, I never planned on speaking. I was just good in corporate America, making good money, and I'll never forget, someone asked me to come to a middle school and speak. And I went and I spoke and I shared my story and I poured my heart out, and the response was crazy. And there was this little girl that came up to me, I'll never forget, and she was crying. And she was like, thank you so much for sharing your story. I was gonna go home and commit suicide. But when I know what you went through and how you bounced back, I wanna live now. Blew my mind. So I'm thinking like, man, how can I stay in corporate America when there's kids out here suffering and I have something that can help shift their lives forever? I do it for you. So you are what motivates me. For every student that was failing before and now you're keeping up with me, or I maybe came to your school and speak and now you want to be successful, I do it for students like you. I do it for the underdog. For those who feel like they're suffering and they're struggling and nobody believes in them, I do it for people like you. And so you are what motivates me, and I'm here to help you go to the next level. Question number 2, let's get it.
I'm Jocko, I'm 16, and I go to William Henry Spencer High. And my question is, how does a student stay focused on their goals with negative things in their environment, such as drugs and gangs?
I do a lot of work all over the country. So I go to country schools, you know what I'm saying? I go to schools in the suburbs, and then I also go to urban schools where they really struggling and they doing the best they can, but the environment is not as pleasant or culturally accepted when it comes to education. One thing I can tell you, Jocko, you gotta be laser focused. Listen to me, bruh. You gotta be laser focused. Because when you leave school, you're at school, and yes, they value education at school, but when you hit them streets, in your community, your neighborhood, your friends, they might not be so receptive to education. They might not value what you value. So if you gotta hold that thing true to your heart, and you gotta say, hey, ain't nothing gonna stop me from being successful. So for me, I had to avoid some people that was dealing with the drugs and alcohol. I had to make sure that my surrounding was positive, that I kicked it with people who wanted to push me to go to that right place in life. You know, I had to make sure that I was not at the wrong place at the wrong time. You'll be surprised how many people I go and visit in detention centers or prisons, and they was like, man, I just went to my friend's house, or man, I was just riding with my homeboy. They had great grades. They had scholarships to play basketball and football and baseball, but they was with some wrong people at the wrong time, and when that person went down, they went down. So a lot of times the decisions you make in school, you gotta make sure those wise decisions flow outside of the classroom, and you gotta be cautious of how you move and how you operate, because you got a future, you got a purpose, you got potential, and you can't let no distractions stop you from getting it.
My question for you is, why do different people get bullied or judged how the way they look?
Because the people who do the judging, they immature. You know what I think what makes America great is diversity. It's the different cultural and religious background, religious freedom, for us being able to voice our opinion. I think that's what makes us great. Wouldn't it be boring if everybody looked the same, if everybody talked the same, if everybody acted the same? That'd be boring. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if you went outside and there was only one type of tree? You know, what if you went to the market and there was only one type of fruit? You know, but you got papayas, you got mangoes, you got strawberries, you got pineapples. All of them have different textures. All of them smell differently. All of them taste differently. That's what makes the world beautiful. What if it was only one type of dog? Nope, it's several. You got Rottweilers, Labrador Retrievers, Yorkie Poos and Shih Tzus, Bulldogs. You got the Wiener dog. That's what makes America great, is our diversity. And it's unfortunate that we live in a world, or we live in a society now, where people are judged by the color of their skin as opposed to the content of their character. What's inside them, that's how we should judge people, what level they're on. And if you're gonna be a next level student, then we've gotta make sure that when we look at people, we don't look at what's on the outside, we look at what's on the inside. We don't look at how they dress or how they talk. We look at what's inside their heart and what they produce in life. I think that's what makes us, popular and successful, and that's what makes us amazing. And so as I travel the globe, I get to meet people from different cultures, from different walks of life, and I want to understand their story. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to understand their journey. I want to understand why they are the way they are, their upbringing, their background. I'm fascinated with stuff like that, as opposed to everybody being the same. That's so boring. And so I think that we should start celebrating our differences. And so I would challenge you all and everyone watching this video to ask yourself, have you been judging people by the way they look, or by the way they dress, or by their religious background? I think that we should begin to create a stronger culture within our country where we can celebrate our differences and we can love one another. That right there is what I call next level living. And if you're gonna be a next level student, you've gotta really own that mindset. Before we end, we've gotta end every single episode with our next level student of the week. The next level student of the week are students from all across the country that we wanna highlight and we wanna recognize for going to that next level. I want to acknowledge all of the amazing students in Houston, in Port Arthur, Texas, and in Beaumont, Texas, because you all just got hit with a major hurricane. So it's a few schools that I want to shout out. Westbrook High School, Ozen High School, and Central Medical Magnet High School. I found out from some of your school officials that a lot of these students, even though you just lost your own home, even though you just got hit by this hurricane, y'all have been showing up and you've been volunteering, you've been helping to rebuild Beaumont, Texas, and it blows my mind that you could lose everything, but you're still showing up. And all of the football teams at all of those 3 schools have been showing up to unpack trucks, to give supplies to families that are in need. That's what next level living is all about. Service, rising above the call, saying, hey, I'm hurting, but how can I help you? Hey, I went without something, but how can I be a blessing to you? That's what next level living is all about. So watch this. If you want to nominate a next level student of the week, all you got to do is send an email to my team. Send us a video or a picture of the student. Let us know what the student has overcome, what they've gone through. Or maybe you want to acknowledge one of your classmates. Maybe they went through a horrific ordeal, but they didn't let that get them down and they stayed positive. Also, if you have questions that you want to ask me that I can answer on the show, send those questions and then send those videos every single week. And let's keep building together. Hey, what's up? I hope you enjoyed today's video, and check this out. You gotta subscribe because I've got so many more videos in store for you. And when they come out, I want them to come directly to you. So click subscribe and let's keep building together.